So for an employee ownership trust to function, to be allowable, the majority of the shares in the business have to be owned by the trust. So minimum 51%. So for us, we put sold 70% of our shares into the trust for us, and we retain 10% each. And that cost is then repaid over whatever period of time is realistic and reasonable for the business, because obviously it has to come from applicable funds that's generated within the business sustainably. So it's very much a delayed gratification in comparison to your corporate sale, obviously, where there's generally a lump of money on day one, and then you've got that earn out, usually with incentivized for performance over those 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it happens to be. So that's an important part of it for those who are going EOT, is there is the delayed gratification in terms of payout. You have to be patient. The key thing from the team's perspective, and again, really the 99% of our team, the only thing they were really focused on was the fact it kept us independent. Because a lot of the practices around us had sold, particularly one quite nearby had sold a few months before.
And I used to work
at. Been very staunchly independent. There you go. Always very staunchly independent, and basically the rumor mill was going into overdrive of not if, but when were we going to sell? And we were getting so many questions all the time, as I'm sure you guys did as well in your time. And so for the team members, that reassurance that we were going down the employee ownership trust route, so we would retain our independence, was the thing that they were really focused on.
Has it helped retain the staff as well?
Oh, absolutely. From retention, but also recruitment, because again, the largest EOT practice in the country, still as far as we're aware, we're the largest EOT practice in the world. So we have a unique place in the veterinary landscape, because there's still not that many EOTs. There are 1 or 2 more over the last year or so, which is great, but we're still there as very much front and center. And when we went to the EOT 3.5 years ago, we were about 80, 85 people on the team altogether across 6 sites. We are now about 180 people across 8 sites.
Wow. Gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah. And when it came to recruitment, again, particularly in the current market, the marketplace has been over the last 2 or 3 years. You both know very well how challenging it has been sometimes to find a vet, find a nurse, and not succumb to the got a pulse and a qualification, will take them, but actually wanting to make sure you're recruiting someone who's aligned with your culture and values and is going to maintain that level of quality. But so for us, that really was a particularly unique selling point, along with then that's backed up by our culture, our values, the team engagement piece, the team being a key part of the brain's trust of how we take the practice forward, internal innovation, all of those things. So that's been really successful. And was it the year before last, I recruited 17 vets in a year.
There aren't 17 vets around in a year.